Ugh. Okay. Anyway, so it is a 6-minute mastery quiz. I think the 6 minutes is going to work okay. If not, we can readjust it. Reminder, you do need a calculator to do this one. You've got a couple options. Rumor has it that there is an emulator on your Chromebooks. I have yet to actually confirm that. But when I was building them, I was using the MCA website one. I actually wasn't using this one because I wanted prettier pictures. And also I had to take a picture, which you'll see in a minute. So if you want to use the Minnesota standalone calculator, you can click on this little hyperlink that I posted. Start this up, start, and then really you just get to a blank question, and then boom, here's a color edition of the graphing calculator. So you can use this for your mastery quiz if you would like. But then you're gonna have to like hop different tabs a lot. If you're comfortable doing that, that's okay. But it's up to you what you wanna do. Like I can cheat, and so I can like put these two screens like side by side. I don't know if you can do that on a Chromebook. Can you do that on a Chromebook? Cool, maybe do side by side screens. So I'm gonna do that. All right, so we're gonna start it up. Here we go. You're gonna get a polynomial. So here is my polynomial. I need to graph this thing and identify what my zeros are for that function. I've also got a graph for it here, but that's for a later question because I haven't marked any of the numbers on there. So I want to plug this into my graphing calculator. So I've got negative x math cubed plus x squared plus 17x plus 15 and graph. Oh, that's bad. I can't see the top, so I'm going to adjust my window a little bit. So I'm just going to adjust my Y max, make that about like 30 maybe. Nope, that's not enough. Let's try 60. Oh, there's the tippy top. Great. Okay. Now I can identify what my zeros are. I want to identify them from smallest to largest. So here's my smallest one. It's at negative 1, 2, 3, and negative 1. So my smallest zero is negative 3. My next one is at negative 1. And then the next one is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Great. I need to find the coordinate of my maximum and my minimum. So that's the same thing that you were doing on the mastery quiz. So in the video. So if I want my maximum, here's a quick way to find it. You can actually type in numbers rather than like hitting this little arrow thing. You can actually just type numbers in. So I know it's somewhere between 0 and my other 0 that's over here, 5. You know, it's somewhere between 0 and 5, which is a little bit faster than trying to move left and right with the arrow keys. Hit enter one more time. So my maximum is, I'm going to write it as a coordinate point to 3 decimal places, 2.737. And then 48.516. You'll do the same thing for the minimum. How many questions? It is just this one question. So to find the minimum, I will go second calc. I'd go minimum, and I know it's in between these two zeros that I got. I know it's between negative 3 and 1. So rather than trying to get my Spider-Man all the way over to here, I'm just going to type those two numbers in. Negative 3, enter, negative 1, enter. And then I can see that, hey, I'm going to look in between here because our calculator's too stupid to understand what a local minimum is. So we have to say, hey, dummy, look here. So that's that. The guess we just ignore. And then I would write this as a coordinate point. So that is negative 2.070, comma, negative 7.035. Please always round to 3 decimal places. When writing decimal places, are we rounding up or down for the value? You want to round appropriately. So this is 516. Oh, I actually did this wrong. 5168. So that should round up. So this should actually be 516. 7. And I think I got the other one right. Oh, yeah. That's the other thing is, okay, so I got this graph and that graph. So somebody else did this, because that's the last question. I haven't done that part yet. Somebody else did this and they got this graph, but they didn't label their window. Well, I can't have you on paper label the window that you made. So instead, I gave you a graph and I want you to identify what the window is. Oh, dang it. Based on this window, we need to identify, okay, well, where did they set up our window? We know that this is -3, and we know that is -1. So this must be -4 and then -5 for the window. We're going to use a bracket, -5. I know that this is 5, so that's going to be 6 and 7. Okay. Easy peasy. That's not the window that I have over here, but it is the window that I've got over here. Now I know that this is really low and it's kind of like floating out in the middle of space. What was that minimum again? Well, here, I'm going to do it based on the maximum. So I know the maximum is 4.48. So I know this has gone up to 48 and it seems to be right at the top. And so this must be a pretty close to 48, and I'm going to be reasonable with these numbers. I'm not going to put like a 49 there or a 46. I'm going to do like multiples of 10 and multiples of 5. So that is probably 50. And I've got 2 tick marks to get to 50. So these must be going by 25s. I will play around with what these go by. So be mindful of like, well, I know the high point of this is 48. So this must be pretty close to 48, so probably 50. And then, so that's 25, 50. So then this one must be going down 1 tick mark because I don't see a tick mark there. So this must be -25. So that would be what my interval looks like. Yeah, and if you want, what you can also do is if you've got this, and you're like, and you've got a little extra time, you can actually go to here and you can check to see if it matches. So let's see, we got -5, enter, 7, enter. -25, enter, 50, enter. Ooh, that's looking pretty close. These tick marks are going by 1s. If you wanted to match this exactly, you change the scale. The YSCL is the scale. It's how often do we see a tick mark. And I guessed that it was by 25s. Now they match.